What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm going to be showing you all the top 3 point guard builds to make if you're new to the game. So before we get into the video, I just want to say please drop a like and subscribe, because this is going to be one of my first videos that I'm going to be posting on this channel ever. In addition, these builds are in no particular order. All of them are great. The attribute ratings you are about to see are going to be your max attribute ratings once you hit 95 overall. After you go past 95 overall, you receive a +1 to every attribute category every single time you upgrade your overall player rating. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first build I'm going to be showing you is an offensive threat. So I'm going to skip right to the end of the process just to show you what the name is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be an offensive threat, and it's going to be similar to D'Angelo Russell, Stephen Curry, and Jamal Murray. So let's get right into it. So the first pie chart you want to select for the skill breakdown is going to be the 6th one. If you scroll down about 5 times, it's going to be about, I want to say, like 45% playmaking and 45% shooting. Next, the physical profile you're going to want to pick is going to be the first one. It's going to be right at the top. It's going to give you the most speed. It's also going to give you a fair vertical. You don't really want to worry about strength too much right now because, like I said, you're a point guard. That's more for like defenders and centers and stuff like that. So here's the most important part, the attributes. As you can see, let's go right to the shooting for a second, because this is the focal point of the build along with the dribbling. The mid-range shot is at an 84, the three-pointer is at an 84, the free throw is at a 90, and the post fade is at an 86, and this is going to give you 22 shooting badges. Now keep in mind, this is the base attribute stats, so this is before we've made any changes to the height and wingspan and weight, which is also going to affect the attributes. And I also want to say, if you do decide to make this build, please copy the attributes right now, because like I previously stated, the height, weight, and wingspan is going to affect these attribute ratings, so it's going to confuse you a little bit and throw you off if you're trying to recreate this build in the builder. So if you're going to recreate the build, recreate it now. Pause the video, do what you got to do. Now we're going to look at the ball handling too. The pass accuracy is an 88, the ball handle is an 88 as well, and the post move is at a 77. This is going to give you 23 playmaking badges. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the top real quick and look at some of the finishing attributes. As you can see, we have a 70 close shot, and if you do not know what close shots are, they're basically any shot close to the rim that is not a layup. So that means floaters, hooks, and post fades. So we're a point guard, we're not really going to be shooting any of those shots, which is why it's about a 70, but sometimes those shots can be shot on accident, so we don't want it as low as possible because we don't want to guarantee miss anytime those accidents happen. Next, we have a 77 driving layup, pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure we all know what driving layups are, and a 65 driving dunk. Now we're going to go to the bottom and look at the defensive attributes real quick. We have a 73 perimeter defense, 72 lateral quickness, 75 steal, and a 56 defensive rebound, and we ended up leaving all of the other attributes on the default rating, which is pretty low, but this allows you to get 4 defensive badges, which is more than enough to get some of the basic necessities. Now we're going to look at the height. We're going to make this build 6'5" because it's going to allow you to guard pretty much any guard on the court with no trouble. It's going to allow you to guard the shooting guard position and maybe some short small forwards. Alright, next we would like to lower the weight all the way down to 175 pounds. This is going to give you the most acceleration and most vertical, but you're going to take a hit to strength, but it's only 2, so it's not that big of a deal. Next, we are going to look at the wingspan. This wingspan is going to give you a very slight bump to your strength, but it's also going to give you a pretty big increase to your 3-point and mid-range shot of 4 attributes. If you go down, it's also going to give you a +3 to your ball handling, which is going to give you an 87, which means you can speed boost off rip. And if you do not know what that is, it is basically a form of some of the faster dribbling animations in the game. Now, if you go all the way to the bottom, you do take a very slight hit to your defensive attributes. You get a -2 to your steal and a -1 to your block. So now to one of the final steps, you are selecting a takeover. In my personal opinion, I believe shot creating takeover is the best takeover you can pick from the 3 options you are given for this build. But if shot creator isn't seeming like you, playmaking will probably be my second choice, and sharpshooter would likely be my last. So that's the offensive threat. Now we're going to get right into the next build. Alright, this build is called the two-way slashing playmaker. It is similar to John Wall, Baron Davis, and John Morant, and this is going to be build number 2. So looking at the skill breakdown, you want to go down and select the second from the bottom skill breakdown, which is going to give you about 45% defensive / rebounding and 45% playmaking. For the physical profile, you're going to scroll all the way down and select the final pie chart. This is going to give you an even split between speed, vertical, and strength. If you look to the right, you can see you almost have a maxed out speed at 91, an acceleration of 89, a vertical of 90, and your strength is 70. Now, looking at the attributes. Remember, if you would like to make this build in particular, copy the build right now, because height, wingspan, and weight changes the attributes and it's going to throw you off if you try to copy it. So we're going to make him 6'5". This is going to allow him to strap up any point guard, shooting guard, and short small forward. And if you look down, it gives you a massive boost to your block, which is plus 14, and also some small boost across your offensive and defensive rebound, and another massive boost to your interior defense, which is now a 65. You're going to take a hit on your ball handle, an improvement to your post move, and another hit on your pass accuracy, but we're going to recover some of that later on in the build process. If you look at your driving dunk all the way at the top, you receive a +2 and a +1 to standing, and your post hook, you also get a hit to your driving layup, but an 82 is still very high. So we're going to look at the weight. We want to keep the weight at the default weight at 195 pounds. The wingspan, we want to minimize it all the way so you can get that boost to your mid-range shot, which is going to be a 75, and a boost to your 3-point shot, which is now going to make it a 69. You're also going to get a boost to your ball handling, but you are going to take a hit to your steal and your block. So for this build, honestly, you could probably choose any takeover here, but in my personal opinion, I believe slasher takeover is the best one to go with. Now, if you do not want to choose slashing takeover and you want the lockdown takeover, that would definitely be my second choice. My third choice would be the playmaking. My final choice would be shot creating, because this build isn't the best shooting build, but it will definitely help you shoot if you get that takeover when you activate it in the game. So that's the two-way slashing playmaker. Now we're going to move on to build number 3. Alright, now we are looking at build number 3, which is also an offensive threat. But before you get too confused, this offensive threat is very different from the first one I showed you. Let's see how. First of all, it's similar to Mohamed Abdul-Rauf, Chris Paul, and Derrick Rose. Looking at the skill breakdown, you're going to want to pick the second breakdown, which is going to give you about 45% shooting and 45% finishing ability. For the physical profile, you're going to want to scroll all the way down and pick the final pie chart, which is going to give you an even split. So let's look at the finishing attributes. For the close shot, you have a 73. For the driving layup, you get an 87. And for the driving dunk, you get an 82. We left the standing dunk and the post hook on default because you're guarding, you won't be needing that. The mid-range shot is an 81, the three-pointer is an 80, the free throw is an 88, and the post fade is an 89. Going down to the playmaking, your pass accuracy is an 82, your ball handle is an 82, your post moves are at a 76. Now for the defense / rebounding. Your interior defense is a 52, your perimeter defense is a 75, your lateral quickness is a 72, your steal is a 77, and your block is at a 31. Your offensive and defensive rebound have been left on the default settings. This is going to allow you to get 4 defensive / rebounding badges, 17 playmaking badges, 21 shooting badges, and 10 finishing badges. So if we look at the finishing real quick, you can't quite get contact dunks off rip, but if you go past 95 overall, every single overall you go past 95, you do get a plus to your attributes. So once you hit about 97 overall, you will be able to unlock contact dunks. So we're gonna make this build 6'2". It's on the shorter side, but you get a plus to your driving layup. You take a hit on your standing and post hook. You're already short, so that really doesn't matter. You're gonna get a slight boost to your mid range, a slight boost to your ball handling, but a hit to your post moves. You're also going to get a hit to your interior defense, a boost to your lateral quickness, and a hit to your block. We're going to minimize the weight all the way down to 165 pounds. This is going to lower your interior defense, raise your lateral quickness. It's also going to lower your strength, but it's going to raise your acceleration and your vertical. We're going to lower the wingspan all the way down to 74 inches. This is going to give you a +3 boost to your mid-range shot and 3-pointer. This is also going to give you a +3 boost to your ball handling. This 87 ball handling is going to allow you to speed boost off rip. So for this build, we're sticking with shot creator takeover, but if shot creator isn't what you want to do, slashing takeover will be my second choice, playmaking will be my third choice, and sharpshooter takeover will be my final choice. So that is going to be the Offensive Threat 2.0. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like, please subscribe, and enjoy your day.